Welcome in. It's another edition of Where the 99 Lead. I'm Andrew Joyce, your host, and Where the 99 Lead, we talk about the historic 99 steps that lead to the University of Pikeville campus, also lead to and from campus, into the community and into the world. And on Where the 99 Lead, we talk all things regarding the University of Pikeville. Athletics, academics, we talk admissions. That will be our subject today. And of course, we talk about the College of Osteopathic Medicine. We talk about the new sports management programs. We talk about the Coleman College of Business. Many different topics on Where the 99 Lead. And today, no stranger to the show, Gary Justice, Vice President for Enrollment Management, our guest. Welcome back in, Gary.
I always love coming on Where the 99 Leads, Andrew.
I know it's always a busy time for you. Recruiting, it never stops. Whether it's in athletics or whether it's in the classroom, recruiting students to the University of Pikeville, it never stops. But here we are, just after midterms, and it's hard to believe that the university celebrated another record enrollment a couple of months ago.
Well, it's something. It's the type of records that you want. It's 4 consecutive years of record enrollment. A lot of things go in to those records. You have dedicated employees who are going out and speaking to these students, admissions counselors. When we bring students to campus, we have faculty and staff who are welcoming these students to campus as well. But also, Dr. Hurley and Governor Patton have done a great job in their 4 years of leadership, and Dr. Hurley will continue with that, now being the president, of having the programs the students want to study. Because you can have all the interest in the world in your university or college, but if you don't have the programs they want to study, they won't come. But now we have what we need to service our region.
Absolutely. And of course, record enrollment, 4 years running now. And as Vice President for Enrollment Management, it makes you a happy man when registration takes place in the fall, but not satisfied with where you are. Admissions counselors, they are still hot on the trail, recruiting future Bear students in the high schools and visiting schools already this fall.
Well, the thing is, Andrew, every college or university has to have students. And there's no way to hide that. And that's why I tell students when they come on campus, you guys are the customers. So whatever you need, please ask. If you have a question about something, please ask. Because we have a graduating class this year of the University of Pikeville, as every other college university does as well. So we got to start recruiting those prospective students to take the place for class, to fill classes, to fill programs. So, and also we have those high school seniors. This may be one of the most important decisions they're going to make in their life, of where to go to college. Do I go close to home? Do I go away from home? Do I stay on campus? Do I stay off campus? And we want to be there to talk to those students, to answer those questions, to help relieve some of that stress they may have.
Sure. And of course, it is a very important decision. Many times career choices are made during that time. Partner choices are made during that time. Folks meet their spouses in college so many different times. So it is a very important decision. Your admissions counselors, they're back in the schools. How long after school began in late August until the admission counselors were out in the schools visiting and recruiting high school students?
Well, typically the high schools start back first part of August, middle part of August, and we will be respectful of their time too. As soon as they're starting the semester up, the guidance counselors and principals, students are trying to get adjusted to another school year, so we're respectful of the time. So usually we wait until September, then we start going and visiting the high schools, and we do that by 3 different ways. One, we have college fairs that we attend where the students will come to us. We have a table set up. We also go to career days. That may be sponsored by a local business. And then we also visit the high schools during lunch. So once the students get done eating their lunch, then come by and talk to us. We have a table set up. I brought some visual aids today too, Andrew.
We like visual aids. That's how I learn.
This is some of the recruiting pieces that we have, and I want to show this to the camera here. And this maybe is receiving these in the mail, and this has been very effective. This is our 4th consecutive year of having this type of piece. So everything that you receive, everything that's placed in this piece is everything that you need, from financial aid, application to recruiting pieces, and gives you more information. First thing we're giving them, Andrew, is this little thing that says UPIKE on it. And the significance of this is on the back. It has a toll-free number, has all of our social media, Twitter, Facebook, Flickr, that type of thing. because now students, they prefer to communicate via social media.
Sure.
I know you and I, before coming on the camera, was having a little discussion about Twitter.
Right.
That is, we're on Twitter, we answer questions. Students will pose that. I have a question about the University of Pikeville. Can you answer, do you have this program? We answer those questions on Twitter as well.
How important is social media as opposed to 4 years ago?
Social media, students prefer to speak via social media, and much more prevalent now, to answer your question, compared to 4 years ago. The reliance upon Facebook and Twitter now is a acceptable form of communication to an 18 to 20-year-old.
Right.
And sometimes they get a little bit nervous. They don't want to call. They think it may be a silly question.
Right.
Well, if I put it on social media, get my question answered, and then it also gives us an opportunity to reach out to those students, because we actually have a lot of students who may never heard of University of Pikeville, but they have a friend coming here now.
Sure.
So they go follow us on Twitter or they like us on Facebook, and they start asking those questions. But the thing about it is, a lot of people ask me, what is my thoughts about social media?
Right.
Do you think our kids are losing that ability to communicate? This is my thoughts, is as long as the student gets their question answered, and the University of Pikeville and helping get their college education, it's a success. Now, as far as are they losing the ability to communicate, well, we have communications class they can take on campus, so we'll definitely help them with their ability to communicate here on after that.
I've had a chance to discuss this very topic, and many say that Twitter, Facebook, social media, whatever the case may be, is destroying communication. And what I have found in a very informal poll that's been going on for a year or so, students that are on Twitter and Facebook are some of the most outspoken people in person.
You're exactly right.
They're not hiding behind this. I think, if anything, it may be making them more communicative.
Kind of get that mass communication out, and I think it encourages communication.
Sure.
Because sometimes people, if you don't have social media, they would not put anything, they would not tell anybody. But they have social media, they're able to express their thoughts a little bit more. Sometimes those thoughts don't need to be expressed.
Exactly.
But the majority of times it is a great topic of conversation. It's also a good way for students to get their stuff answered. Speaking of, we talk about Twitter, but Facebook. Well, our Facebook page, we have a general University of Pikeville Facebook page, and then also each one of our counselors has a Facebook page underneath that, in that same umbrella. Again, if a student has a question at, let's say it's a weekend and they're cruising Facebook at 11 o'clock at night, hey, I got this question. Let me put it on Facebook. Well, it's waiting. They're going to get that response the next morning. Or if the missions counselor is cruising Facebook at the same time, they get that question answered immediately. So have we lost the ability to communicate? No, it's been improved through social media.
I think so too. And I can see where a student might be too embarrassed to ask a question in a school setting in front of their peers to an admissions counselor who might be visiting. But as soon as school's out that evening, I can see them going to Facebook and asking the question then. I think it opens up more avenues. It takes a lot of time to maintain social media, whether it be the University of Pikeville or East Kentucky Broadcasting, Pike TV. It does require time, and it is almost to the point that we need another employee just to handle social media. But from what I've seen, the University of Pikeville, of course, I'm a follower of all of these with admissions and the different UPIKE sites, but a tremendous job, a lot of information there.
We try to get as much of information as quickly as possible, because students need to have those questions answered to help make their decision about their college choices. Every student is not going to come to University of Pikeville, but we want to make sure that they get their questions answered, so in their decision-making process, that we'll see if University of Pikeville is the right fit for them.
There you go. Gary Justice, Vice President for Enrollment Management, our guest on this edition of Where the 99 Lead. Today we talk about admissions, we talk about recruitment, and the ways that the University of Pikeville Admissions Office, the Office of Enrollment Management, are handling recruiting in these changing times, because social media exponentially growing, and more students are there. Finding that the trends are leaning towards Twitter. More and more of the high school graduates are leaning towards Twitter as opposed to even Facebook. It's not dying, but I think they like the near instantaneous Twitter, the way that Twitter can be so quick and fast moving.
It's quick and to the point, and they get a lot of information really quickly, and they like that.
I think we like that as well. There are folks that we may end up in conversations with that we could limit to 140 characters.
That's exactly right. Also, Andrew, inside this piece, we included a little thing about living on campus. So each one of the dorms, each one of the amenities each dorm has. We also have what's called a profile piece, and this gives a little bit of information about the University of Pikeville. And on the back, we talk about financial aid. We talk about the majors we have at the University of Pikeville. Our newest piece this year is we have an athletics piece.
Yes.
I know we've talked in the past about how many student athletes we have at the University of Pikeville. This piece has every coach's contact information. So if a student receives this mail, say, hey, you know what, I'm going to play football. What's the football coach? Oh, I see Dudley Hilton or Kelly Wells or a baseball coach, Chad Gassman, or whatever it may be. We have this nice and convenient for the student. The two last pieces are probably the most important pieces we have. We have scholarship pieces as well.
Sure.
This is every institutional scholarship piece. Every institutional scholarship that we offer at the University of Pikeville is listed in this booklet. And this is, I know we've talked this several times, is the FAFSA, the 001980. And everything is here, 001980, and then on the back it shows you how to complete the FAFSA, not only for the University of Pikeville, for any college university you're thinking about going to.
Right. And a high school senior who's applying for a FAFSA, they need to include all of the schools that they're applying to on that financial aid form. It's very important. Deadlines are very important as well. As I know Judy Bradley would tell us that get those in as early as possible. And you work closely with financial aid. The marketing materials that we've just seen, beautiful envelope. That black and orange smacks you in the face.
Yes.
This is UPIKE.
Yes.
And it's been branded very well. The marketing information there, is this something that's mailed to potential students? How do they get this in their hands?
That's a great question, Andrew. A few years ago, we did have a mailing campaign. We just sent it out to students.
Sure.
Then we changed our philosophy. Dr. Hurley at the time was vice president, said we need to hand deliver these. So we started going out and hand delivering them to students, and because we wanted to deliver these pieces to students who are interested in the University of Pikeville, because we just didn't want it to arrive in somebody's mailbox and clutter up their mail and then they end up throwing it in the garbage. We will make sure these pieces get in the hands of students and families who are thinking about the University of Pikeville. Sure. So through the college fairs, high school visits, and career days, we hand deliver over 10,000 pieces every single year, Andrew.
Wow. You answered my question. You knew I was going to go there. Sports guys like numbers, and I was going to ask how many go out? 10,000.
10,000. And now also, if somebody requests some information, and we'll put them in the mail, sure, but we always have a direct contact, whether it be by phone, email, or just a personal conversation, and we can deliver those pieces to those students.
If someone's tuned in right now, a guardian, a parent, whatever the case may be, they're not in the schools when you visit, but maybe mom and dad would like the information because they're not sure if Johnny or Susie will get it home. If mom, dad, whomever would like some information about the University of Pikeville, for them to look over and be able to assist in that decision-making process, who should they contact? How could they get the information?
That's a great question, Andrew, because sometimes those students coming home from school, I have a 13 and a 9-year-old, and I know sometimes the information they bring home sometimes it gets crumpled up in the backpack when it's coming home too. They can go on the website, first of all, upike.edu, or if you just want to call us, the office, talk to Della or Barb, 606-218-5251. They'll be happy to send something out to you the same day. If you call in and say, I'd like to have some information with the University of Pikeville, we'll be glad to send something to you.
Absolutely. And of course, Gary Justice, the Vice President for Enrollment Management at the University of Pikeville, our guest. And how many admissions counselors now out on the roads?
We have 5 admissions counselors on the road, and this is, they range from, first year we've had what is called a regional recruiter.
Yes.
We have somebody who is stationed down in Middlesboro, Kentucky, University of Pikeville graduate, formerly Sally Roberts, now Sally Adams.
Right.
She is recruiting that southeast southern part of Kentucky. Got Amber Collins, the director of admissions. Got Haley Combs, Sarah Dameron, and Brittany Hodge.
And they're covering how many schools?
They are, Amber would know the number as far as she's our director of admissions. I know we're going from, if you draw a line from Central Kentucky, Central to Southern Kentucky, all the way east, we're getting a full coverage of the whole eastern part of the state.
Wow. Also touching southern West Virginia, southwest Virginia, the Central Appalachia corridor.
Yes, sir. We are the leading university in Central Appalachia, so all the schools that have shown interest in the University of Pikeville, we will have a representative in those schools. So we are hitting more in Virginia, more in West Virginia, actually starting to get some interest out of the state of Tennessee as well.
Sure. And Gary Justice, the University of Pikeville has a direct admissions program to the Kentucky College of Osteopathic Medicine. I've met a couple of students who are in the OMSP program. Tell us about the Osteopathic Medical Scholars Program and a special event coming up November 9th.
Well, that's a great program, Andrew. This is the Osteopathic Medical Scholars Program, or OMSP. The abbreviation is a direct admission into the Kentucky College of Osteopathic Medicine. If a student receives over a 26 on the ACT,
Yes.
26 or higher, then they apply for a direct admission. So they'll come in, they'll do the interview, they will fill out some essays, that type of thing. And if they're selected, we select 10 students per year. If they're selected, once they achieve their baccalaureate degree, reach their MCAT score and the GPA, they're automatically admitted into the Kentucky College of Osteopathic Medicine. They're not going through the stresses of where I'm going to go to medical school at, I'm not sure if I can get in. They're already admitted. Now, what I advise students is that this comes with a lot of responsibility too, through the OMSP program, because just because you achieve it as a senior out of high school does not mean you can take the time off in undergraduate school. You still got to maintain the GPA and the MCAT, and the majority of our students do that. They take it very seriously, but we always like to let the students know, hey, don't let your hard work stop now. Keep it going.
How long has that program been around?
We've been around for 4 years. We actually have we're very excited this year. We have our first class who's going to go into medical school, so
Right.
It's very exciting. And I'm sorry, you asked about a special event that we have coming up on November the 9th. We have what's called Best of the Best, and that's where we host all the students with a 26 or higher on the ACT who might be interested in medicine or nursing as well. They come on campus and they tour the medical school building. We tell them more about the program. We'll give them a tour of campus. If they haven't applied for undergraduate school yet, we'll get that taken care of that day. And then also we follow up that afternoon. The Bears are playing football, so we'll take them over and let them tailgate and take part of the student life as well.
The OMSP program with its first undergrad graduates coming this fall, and it's been a highly successful program, I understand. And I've talked to a couple of students that are in the program, and what challenges it presents for them, because yeah, I'm guaranteed admittance, but my grade point average has to be there as well. I can't take time off. I can't be a slacker in the classroom. And while they have guaranteed admittance, once they reach that MCAT and once they keep the GPA, I think it's still the same pressures of a typical college student who's looking to go into medical school.
And a lot of those students are participating in some type of extracurricular activity
Yes.
on campus as well. It would be athletics, academic team, and the chorus, wherever it may be. And now they start thinking, wow, I got this additional pressure. I've got to perform, I've got to do this. But they also got additional support too. They have the folks at the Kentucky College of Osteopathic Medicine who's going to be there for them also. And so we try to give them as much support as possible, because the stresses are going to be there
Sure.
for any college student, but particularly for these students as well.
Gary Justice, Vice President for Enrollment Management, our guest on this edition of Where the 99 Lead. And typically those OMSP students, they're high achievers. And
Sure.
when you look at high achievers, they're going to be self-driven. They're going to put pressure on themselves, whether they're guaranteed admission or not. Highly competitive people. And that's what stands out with those.
You know, it's, of course, on the ACT exam, the high score you can get is a 36.
Mm-hmm.
And I've talked to several students before who are interested in the OMSP program. They'll have a 30 plus on the ACT,
Yes.
32, a 33. And they said, I'm ready to retake it.
Right.
My first reaction is, why do you want to retake? You got 32.
A 32, a 34 will get you guaranteed big money scholarships at any university.
Yes, sir. And they said, so what do you want to take? I said, I want a 36.
Yes.
So when you talk about that self-driven student, you're exactly right. When you get those high-achieving students, there's a reason why they're high-achieving, because they've challenged themselves, they've taken advantage of a lot of things in school, they prepared themselves to get that 29, 30, 31 on the ACT.
Absolutely. Gary, students in the OMSP program, you talk about support they get. Already they're shadowing physicians, traveling on medical mission trips, learning about time management, ways to improve study skills and test-taking skills. Those things will be important, not just in the undergrad program, but in medical school as well. Tell us about the opportunities that are provided and some of the support services to the OMSP students.
Well, the first thing they receive, besides the thing you just named, Andrew, is an opportunity to work with some of our current medical students. Whether maybe they need a tutor and maybe the students here enter medical school. Maybe it's a higher level science class, and it's hard to find a tutor on campus. A professor's always there, but sometimes students prefer a peer tutor.
Sure.
So we have to ask one of the students from the medical school to help those folks out. That's one way to get additional support. Then also, in preparing for the MCAT, again, this class here into medical school, if they need help preparing for the MCAT, again, another one of the peer tutors that in the undergraduate school, they're going to struggle themselves preparing for the MCAT, but now they have somebody through the medical school, whether it be staff or current medical school students, who can help them prepare for the MCAT.
And of course, they've been there and they've walked in those same shoes.
And they know the stresses, and they know how to prepare. They know the length of the exam. They teach them time management, not only about studying for class, but during the exam. The ACT is a tough exam, but the MCAT is a very tough exam as well.
Absolutely. And the stresses of college life, and they willingly take on those stresses. You'll be hosting students and their families on campus for the annual open house, November 16th. Tell us more about that event.
It's a very exciting event. Open house is where we just open the doors of the University of Pikeville. Of course, they're always open. Anybody want to come visit our campus. But this is a very organized event where we have students come on campus. They can take tours of the campus, eat in our cafeteria. They get an opportunity to meet professors. They meet coaches. Anything they're interested in. The University of Pikeville will have everything available that day. For example, if you have somebody who's interested in wanting to go into nursing that day, we're going to have folks from the nursing department that the student and their parents can speak to. If you have somebody wanting to play on the football team or on the women's basketball team, those coaches are going to be there as well. So they can sit there and talk one-on-one. It's just an open house at the University of Pikeville. Anything you want to do, you'll be available that day, November the 16th.
And of course, on November 9th, a special date for the Osteopathic Medical Scholars Program, November 16th. And that's an open house, but we've also seen you out at football games, tailgating, and you happen to have a large number of young students with you then. You have recruited students on campus at football games, at events, all during the course of the year.
We try our best. Students have different schedules. Everybody has a different schedule, whether it be if we bring we brought a group of 20 students from Middlesboro High School 3 weeks ago, and they stayed on campus with us.
Sure.
Because it was the time of year that they can do it, where there's outside of testing, the school will allow them to come up. Also, we've had students who travel in with their families. We've had football recruiting days where we come in. So we want to be available whenever the student is available, because if we're available when it's convenient for them, their stress level is down. Because if they're trying to rush around, they can't get the most of the experience. We want to have them a true University of Pikeville experience.
Gary, Justice, as an admissions counselor goes into a school and makes a presentation, I guess what would be a 90-second sales pitch or presentation properly representing the University of Pikeville?
A small classroom size, 100% of our students receive financial assistance, one-on-one attention with your academic advisor and tutoring available, and also it's an all-inclusive school. So once you get that, there are no hidden fees. Once you pay your tuition, you get all the tutoring you need, go to the library, you print, there are no additional fees, free parking all inclusive at the University of Pikeville.
Absolutely, and one of the fastest growing colleges in the Commonwealth, or university in the Commonwealth, pardon me, but the University of Pikeville, of course, the leading university of Central Appalachia. Gary, before we go, let's talk about how students can learn more about the upcoming events. Best of the Best, November 9th, and then the OMSP program, November 16th, the open house, and maybe just general UPIKE admissions questions. How can they learn more?
Well, the email address is really simple. It's wewantYou@upike.edu.
I like it.
The phone number, call Della Abshire or Barbara Moore. Those ladies are super. 606-218-5251, or just visit www.upike.edu.
Finally, if someone's tuned in and maybe they would like more information about the University of Pikeville, maybe there's a teacher that is tuned in and would like to get maybe one of her brightest students in touch with the admissions office, could you arrange a personal visit to a particular school that maybe isn't on the regular visitation schedule?
We would love to. My email address is garyjustice@upike.edu. I always love visiting new schools, and I'll open up the world to the University of Pikeville to another student. So contact me if they're visiting a school that we're not currently visiting.
Sure.
Say I have a group of students who would like to visit campus. We would love to host them, whether go pick them up on a van or a bus, or just host them on campus, whatever it may be. We're here to serve.
I know the East Kentucky Broadcasting and Pike TV ever-growing audience as well, and reaching areas that haven't been reached before with our coverage. So we do have some folks that maybe are just learning about the University of Pikeville, or they've heard the great things about UPIKE. Gary Justice, Vice President for Enrollment Management, congratulations on your new position, and we'll look forward to talking again real soon. We usually get together 4 or 5 times a year, so we'll talk more admissions and more recruiting.
I appreciate it, Andrew. It's a great day to be a Bear.
It's always a great day to be a Bear. Gary Justice, Vice President for Enrollment Management, our guest on this edition of Where the 99 Lead, program brought to you by the University of Pikeville. We talk all things regarding the University of Pikeville, the leading university of Central Appalachia.